to possible employment, whereby we're going to have to bring a lot of employers as stakeholders, and it's going to really work. Now, if we have the right skills and employment grows and employers could actually take on people to work with them, that will boost productivity. More productivity will boost employment, more taxes for the government, and so on and so forth. Thankfully, the government is actually trying to put more resources into agriculture. Great stuff. But that is not all we want. Agriculture is one thing that we're lacking that will boost our productivity.
But you have to start somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. I said thankfully. But we also need to look into other sectors, not just agriculture. Agriculture is fantastic because that is a quick money-making mechanism that we could actually go into, which the government is doing at the moment. We need to tackle our educational system as well. If we can't put everybody into agriculture, we have to go through a system, which is the educational system, and that system needs to be totally overhauled. If we don't do that at the moment, then obviously everybody that we have coming out as graduates wouldn't be able to have the necessary skills that the employer needs to take them on. Then that's going to be another disaster as well.
So looking at 2016, definitely it seemed as if Nigeria didn't really have so many low-hanging fruits for it to, latch onto and try to improve the situations that you've just, pointed out. We also saw that people's purchasing power was hugely reduced.
Hugely, yeah.
Creating avenues for the resurgence of get-rich-quick schemes that, came up.
Yeah.
But then going into 2017, as we begin to wind down 2016, what other low-hanging fruits are there for the government to look at, for individuals from the private sector to look at, to try to improve that bottom rung of the pyramid? Those people you call, the ones you say are the common man, the average Nigerian on the street, those who, for instance, who have lost a job or who were, operating as SMEs, but because of the challenges in the economy have had to close down. Right.
Now, there is this scheme that the government is actually trying to put their hands in. We've actually started bringing up or nurturing a lot of graduates and giving them loans to go do business. Now, my concern about that is this. Business is not for everybody. Some people have no business in doing business. Okay? Now, what I'm trying to propose to the government is this. I'm not saying the idea is not fantastic, but you need to be able to have a mechanism in place whereby everybody that want to put through the scheme has to go through a system. Okay? Now, if I actually nurture, mentor, right, people that want to go into business, give me 100. At the end of the scheme, I can tell you how many of these people are ready to go into business. So if you go to the government or to the bank to go take a loan to start a business, you must be prepared for it. You must know the do and the don'ts of going into business, how to pay taxes, franchising, accounting. In this environment, I'll tell you something. When people go into business, they believe it is my business. They forgot the fact that your business and yourself, you're different entity. What we do in this community is, or in this country is, once I have my business, I make 100 naira, I believe it's my money, so I go spend 100 naira. So when there are crises, I have no cushion to lay on. Now, you have to, when you own your business, you have to ensure that I'm a separate entity from my business. So I have to pay myself a salary. So if I make 100 naira, that 100 naira is not my money. It belongs to the business. So I pay my expenses, I pay myself a salary, but we don't do that here. So these are some of the principles that we have to understand. So when people are going into business, the government want to give out loans, they've got to be cautious. Or else they give out this money and just going to go down the drain. So we start all over again. So going into 2017, there's a lot of principles that we have to adopt. I mean, technical skills. If we want to give people loan, they have to go through a schema system whereby they have to be trained, nurtured, to be ready for the business. Not for everybody. We have to look into our educational system to be totally overhauled. We have a lot of schools, mushroom schools, that turn out graduates every year. And you will look at those people. I'm a human capital expert. When I speak to some people, I ask myself the question, did this person go through the 4 walls of university? They can't even make a very good statement. They don't know how to do CV. You want to work with me, you don't have a good service. Some people will come to me for an interview, and I'll ask them, what do we do here? They can't even tell me. So how can you come to me to come and work with me? I don't even know who I am, what we do in here. All those sort of things. Then the government also has to really pump money into our technical education. We used to have in those days where we have people, technical schools that do plumbing, electrical, mechanical. Where are those schools? At the moment, we don't have experienced tilers, plumbers, electricians, and so on and so forth. We have to go out of the country to import these people to come and work for us, as huge as we are.
Well, Mike, we're going to continue this conversation in just a bit and wrap it up after this quick break. And we'll be looking at what better things need to be done, especially in light of the current situation that we're in, the socio-economic crisis, because 2017 doesn't look like it's going to abate anytime soon. So this morning, we'll be back in just a moment, and Mike Adeleye will still be with me here in the studios. Welcome back. Mike Adeleye, Human Capital Development Consultant, is still here with me in the studios as we're taking a look at the economy and people in 2016. Mike, thank you so much for sticking around. So let's wrap up this conversation. We're counting down to 2017. How can human capital development be better enhanced under the current socio-economic circumstances? Because we are going into 2017 still in a recession.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, the government needs to... I know that we don't have enough money in the economy at the moment, but they have to have a budget to be invested in training. When I say training, I'm talking about the areas of technical education.
So they should take out of the 500 billion naira earmarked for special intervention and focus on that.
Yeah, you see, the bedrock of every economy is a macro, what's called regime, or environments. Now, if the microeconomy is actually not being boosted by the government, okay, then there's going to be, as far as Nigeria is concerned. Now, we live in an economy whereby it's being driven by the public sector, by the governments. We shouldn't be. A viable economy should be driven by the private sector. Now that we all know that it's been driven by the public, by the government, then obviously the government has to do more. Now, they have to begin to support more the SMEs. Okay? And there are set-aside loans, they said they work in conjunction with the BOI to actually give out to SMEs. But if you look critically or deeply into that regime, it actually goes majorly into manufacturing. You see, we should understand one thing. The manufacturing cannot function effectively without the service sector. Do we have anything set aside for the service sector? No. We're focusing mainly on manufacturing. People that, the industry that actually produce physical goods. What about the other sector, which actually services that area, which is the service sector? They should be thinking about tax regime. Fine, fantastic. They have a system. There was an announcement that came up a couple of months ago, whereby they said they're going to begin to give tax rebates or tax holiday to, that is another great stuff as well. That should be taken care of. Secondly, when we're talking about the human capital, we need to look into, like I said earlier, a technical area. Majorly, what actually services the economy, it's the artisan sector. Now, Boson did mention earlier that they need to actually look critically into their power supply area, the power sector. Now, if we don't have a minimum of about 15 hours of power supply in this economy, then we're going nowhere. Let the price of oil go to 150, even 200. We will have the money, but where is it going to go into? We need to begin to create an economy whereby the technical sector, the artisan sector, need to be the plumbers, the mechanics, the electricians, and so on and so forth. The market trader as well. Okay, now those funds need to be in place. What are these banks? The microfinance banks as well. Okay, they need to play a big part in this as well, funding the local market traders and so on and so forth. But the interest rate they charge these people is just astronomical. That has to be looked into as well. Okay, now then, if I would say finally, we are all in this together. Everybody has to put their hands on it. Now, all the undergraduates, all the graduates, there's something that we have to look into. I've said this quite severally on this program, which is apprenticeship, voluntary work. Now, if no pain, no gain. If you really want to get what you want, what do you have to put on the table for an employer? And the employer has lost confidence. You don't have the skills. Let's take it from there. Go prove to the employer that you have the skill. How do you do that? Don't expect him to begin to pay you salary while he's mentoring, training, and growing you up. You go show to the employer, this is what I got. Now, you go to the employer and say, can I work with you? I study economics, for example. And I say, can I work with you for about 6 months voluntarily? And let me see what I can do. By the time you go through the system, you acquire a lot of things, your dedication, productivity, and so on and so forth. Then the planner will now decide, okay, you have what it takes.
Well,
come and get this job.
Mike, let's see if 2017 will meet your expectations.
Hopefully.
Because, yes, it seems very little, but then it seems like a tall order as well. Mike Adeleye, Human Capital Development Consultant, thank you so much for your perspectives this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And that's it on today's edition of Business Morning. Many thanks for staying with us. It is a holiday, so continue to enjoy yourself. The markets resume on Wednesday, but Business Morning is back to you. Have a great day. I'm Harriet Agbenyi.